Studies show that as many as 54% of people crack their knuckles. Also, a review in the Swiss Medical Journal found no evidence in any of the available studies that cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. A doctor even showed this by experimenting on himself. He reported in Arthritis and Rheumatology that, over a 50-year period, he cracked the knuckles on his left hand 2 or more times a day, but never on his right hand. At the end of the experiment, the knuckles on his left hand were no different than those on his right hand, and neither hand showed signs or symptoms of arthritis.
Knuckle cracking occurs when you lace your fingers together, turn your palms so they are facing away from you, and then bend the fingers back. And you are all probably familiar with the loud popping sound that results. People crack their knuckles for a lot of reasons. Some people like hearing the sound knuckle cracking makes. Some people think cracking their knuckles makes more room in the joint, which relieves tension and increases mobility. However, although it may feel like there's more room, there's no evidence that there actually is. Just like wringing your hands or twirling your hair, cracking your knuckles may be a way to occupy your hands when you're nervous. Some people who are stressed need to take it out on something. Cracking knuckles may allow for diversion and release without actually causing harm. Once you start cracking your knuckles for any of these reasons, it's easy to keep doing it until it happens without even thinking about it. When you find yourself unconsciously cracking your knuckles many times a day, it becomes a habit. People who do it 5 times a day or more are called habitual knuckle crackers.
The reason the joint makes a popping or cracking sound when pulled is still not completely understood. For a long time, many people attributed the noise to nitrogen bubbles either forming or collapsing in the joint fluid. Others thought it came from movement of the ligaments around the knuckle. In a 2015 study, researchers watched knuckles while they were cracked using an MRI. They found that a cavity formed due to the negative pressure created when the joint was pulled apart quickly. They determined that the sound was made by formation of the cavity. However, this couldn't explain the loudness of the sound. A 2018 study suggested that the sound was actually caused by the partial collapse of the cavity. A review of studies noted that it takes 20 minutes for the cavity to fully collapse so a new cavity could be formed. This may be why after you've cracked your knuckles, you're not able to do it again right away.
Some of the articles and papers claims it's due to the dissolved gases found in the synovial fluid around the joint. Synovial joints are surrounded by connective tissues such as the joint capsule, tendons, and ligaments. Between the articulating bones within a joint, a thick liquid called synovial fluid resides, encapsulated by the joint capsule. Within the synovial fluid, a number of gases are dissolved, including oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. When we crack our knuckles, we are causing the joint capsule to be stretched, thereby increasing the volume and decreasing the pressure within the joint. As pressure within the joint decreases, gases that are dissolved within the synovial fluid become less soluble and form bubbles. When you stretch the fingers far enough, the pressure within the joint decreases so far that these bubbles actually burst, which many attribute as the cause for the popping sound. It takes time to redissolve the gases into the synovial fluid, ranging from a few seconds to hours. During this period, it is stated you won't be able to pop your knuckles again.
Cracking your knuckles shouldn't be painful, cause swelling, or change the shape of the joint. If any of these things happen, something else is going on. Although it's not easy, if you pull hard enough, it's possible to pull your finger out of the joint or injure the ligaments around the joint. If you notice your joints are painful or swollen while cracking your knuckles, it's likely due to an underlying condition, such as arthritis or gout.
Cracking your knuckles doesn't cause harm, so it shouldn't be painful, cause swelling, or change the shape of the joint. These are signs that something is wrong, and you should be evaluated by your doctor. Injuring your finger by pulling very forcefully or moving it in the wrong direction is usually very painful. Your finger may look crooked or start to swell. If this happens, you should see your doctor right away. If you notice your joints are painful or swollen while cracking your knuckles, it's likely due to an underlying condition and should be evaluated by your doctor.